Warning, this web TV show has been created by a radical warrior man for modern radical warrior men. If you are not a warrior male who is ready to be liberated, are easily offended, or generally just a pussy, save yourself now and stop this life-liberating video immediately. Although created for warrior men, warrior women are always welcome.
Hey everybody, this is Garrett J. White, the Master Coach Mentor and creator of the Warrior 90-Day Challenge, where I guide 5 male warrior entrepreneurs on a unique journey of discovery every single month to having it all. Having it all in their bodies, having it all in their beingness and their spiritual connection, having it all in the balance of their marriage and their marital relationships and their children, and having it all in their bank accounts and their business. If you are a warrior who's looking to have it all, check it out today for a free 4-part video series at wakeupwarrior.com. In today's episode, we're going to go through 3 powerful conversations. Conversation number 1 is why you hate yourself. Conversation number 2 is the crippling cancer of the word maybe. And conversation number 3 is that skill sets bring about passion. Welcome to Wake Up Warrior Television. This is episode number 12. Let's get started now. Conversation number 1, why you hate yourself. Now, I realize this conversation may not be very comfortable to talk about. I mean, let's face it, nobody, including you, including me, want to admit the fact that at the core of the way that we see ourselves is nothing but loathe and hate and despising regret for who we have become. Now, it didn't start out this way. As a young child, you loved everything about your life. You were passionate, expressive, and open to having the conversations that most adults were unwilling to have. You had that conversation with your friends, and most importantly, you had that conversation with yourself. But over time, adults and circumstance and situations and the religious setting you were in, the political setting you were raised in, the environment economically you were raised in, began to tell you that these things were acceptable and these things were not. You began to weigh and measure yourself in the mirror, in essence, and looking at yourself and determining whether or not you fit into the good boy or the bad boy category, whether or not you were one who was loved or you were one who was hated. Ultimately, this led to a place, warrior, of you beginning to suppress the emotions and the feelings that you had every single day. Every single moment that goes by as you suppress the deep, driving desires of what you truly want in life, there begins to be a mask that is your portrayal to the world about who you are. This mask itself begins to brew and to build a rage known as hate. Now, oftentimes we don't admit this hate. Hell, we don't even know this hate's going on, particularly the fact that this hate is going on in us. But one of the sure sign ways that you can tell that a person hates themselves, loathes themselves, and despises the ground that they walk on, look at the judgments they have about the world. Warrior, look into your life. Look at the shit that you judge. Look at the people that you judge, the groups that you judge, the things that you judge, and look at the kind of advice that you give the world. I'm going to have you consider that the more you are trying to change other people around you, the less you're okay with who you are. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not all about this idea of not bringing about change in the marketplace and showing that life is possible and that we can change who we are and change to be more expressive. What I am talking about is a change that's based upon love. Change is based upon starting with a love for you and a love for what you represent and for who you are in the marketplace and for who you are in life. But see, in order to hate yourself, you have to stop loving yourself. And in order to begin loving yourself, you must begin stopping the game of hating yourself. So where does one go about starting in this process of loving oneself? And ultimately, what would be the point? I'm going to have you consider that peace and power and possibility in your life comes about by the depth and the power of love that you show to yourself. So if you can't show it to yourself, guess where you get to start? You get to start showing it to the people around you. Start being more forgiving about the things that they're up to. Start being more forgiving about the places that they screw up. Start being more forgiving about the ways and how and methods that they do and do not show up in life. Why? Because the more you allow them to be, the more you allow yourself to be. And then from a true place of love and a true place of acceptance and a true place of power, when you don't hate yourself, but you love yourself, from there, brother, choose to take a stand and to lead. Lead a game of change, it's about love. Lead a game of change, it's about self-love. Lead a game of change, it's about loving yourself as you love your neighbor.
Maybe I'll go to the party. Maybe I'll go work on my marketing. Maybe I'll get married. Maybe I'll do that next year. Maybe I'll go to the gym tomorrow. Maybe I'll go spend some time with the children. Maybe I'll work out. Maybe I'll change my diet. Maybe I'll make more money. Maybe. I've never heard more bullshit in my entire life than the amount of people around me every single day who are okay with the mediocrity that comes from the word maybe. They're unwilling to make commitments. See, I get into conversations every single week with warriors just like you from all over the world. And at the end of the conversation that I have with them as we interview them for the Warrior 90-Day Challenge, I hold them to a standard of accountability that often makes me perplexed and amazed at the lack of power that exists in most warriors today. And that choice comes down to what? An ability to make a committed choice to yes or no. Yes or no. Notice it in a yes or no decision. There is no maybe. What the hell is maybe? Maybe is an excuse. Maybe is a way out. Maybe is a back door. Maybe is a way for you to be a pussy. Maybe is a way for you not to say no. Maybe is a way for you not to say yes.
Maybe is a sellout, counterfeit, bullshit, nonsense. No way of living, counterfeit me. Maybe is a sellout, counterfeit, bullshit, nonsense. No way of living, counterfeit me.
Absolute sellout to the way that you could live your life. So here's my challenge for you today, warrior, and that is simply this. Get rid of maybe. When somebody asks you if you want to go to dinner, it's not, well, maybe I'll check my schedule. If somebody asks you if you want to be involved in something they're up to, it's not maybe, let me check it out and I'll get back to you. If somebody asks you if you want to go to dinner at a certain restaurant, it's not maybe, well, let's check it out. There is only one true answer. It is yes, I am in, or no, I am not. Now, the ultimate problem that comes with you being okay with the word maybe is that you don't ever have to be in a decision. And for the small shit in life, maybe it's not a big deal. Ha! Yes, it is a big deal. It's a big deal. Why? Because every single choice you make dictates the direction and destiny of your creative life called living. If you choose to live in the mediocre, cancer-based, ridden game of maybe, your personal power is limited by the pussitis that flows through your veins. The inability to ultimately harness the power of what someone who stands as a beacon for this word called commitment. Commitment is not about saying yes or no, it's choosing something today. See, warrior, you cannot grow unless you make choices. Cannot be in a place of power and a new destiny and have it all if you're unwilling to say yes, I'm in, or to say no, I am not. See, there's more power in a no than there is in a maybe. More power in a yes than there is in a maybe. Look around you at the people you're with day to day, and here is my challenge for you. Look at them and say, listen, how can I force a choice called yes or no? Get rid of the word maybe. Test it for a week and see if you don't see how quickly your life itself becomes back on track. Test it every single week and notice how difficult it is for you to say no, brother. And also how difficult at times it is for you to say yes, and how the word maybe lets you get off the hook with being a pussy. Conversation number 3. Skill sets bring passion. I'm going to slow this one down a little bit here. You know, a number of years ago, as my banking world imploded in 2007, 2008, I became committed to one particular concept and idea. And it was this, that I was no longer going to build a business, make money, and live a life that was not driven by purpose and passion. In the first couple of years of doing this, I still made money, but the big confusion that came up for me was simply this, that I believed hook, line, and sinker, one line. And hell, I even preached that line for years with the launch of one of my companies called Paid to Play Academy. Here is what the message was. Find your passion and get paid to live your passion. I gotta be honest, it was a horrendous struggle. And I see hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people around the world, both prophesying, preaching, and teaching this idea that you and I are to live our bliss. I'm gonna have you consider that living our bliss is not so much about finding our purpose and passion in life, it's about finding skill sets. What? What do you mean by this skill sets? Notice this. See, the skill set of marketing and the skill set of sales and the skill set of coaching and the skill set of teaching, the skill set of video, the skill set of copy, the skill set of being about in business, all of these skill sets unleash possibility. What I'm going to challenge you to look at and to consider is simply this: that when you find your passion and then you go find the skills, your passion has an ability to be actually lived for reals. If you go search for your passion without the skills, then all you become is one huge crazy person in a closet with a whole bunch of ideas, and it's likely that you're broke. On the flip side, if you go find skill sets and you go about making money and doing the things that matter every single day in marketing, sales, systems, and ultimately client and customer service and appreciation, that if you do this without some kind of connected higher purpose behind what you're doing, it's also going to become tiring and exhausting. The real challenge for you, warrior, is to figure out this: what are the core skill sets necessary such that when I learned these skill sets, it would unleash my passion for something? A friend of mine said this one time, and he said, "Garrett, listen, let's get real for a moment, shall we? Nothing is fun until you're good at it. When you suck at something, it's not very fun. So if you sit around talking about how I want to live my passion, I want to live my purpose, I want to live my calling, I get it. I was there. But not until I learned skill sets, particularly skill sets in business of marketing, sales, systems, speaking, training, teaching, coaching, guiding, leading, inspiring, and automation, duplication, and the power of technology. Until I learned the skill sets, it was very difficult to actually live my passion. Now I can tell you that today, in today's marketplace, my advice is simply this to warriors who are trying to have it all: you must have the skill sets to build a shredded body. You must have the skill sets to build a powerful being and spiritual connection with God. You must have the skill sets to build the balance in your marriage with your wife and your children. You must have the skill sets to build a business that actually builds a massive bank account. Ultimately, warrior, you must be committed to looking at, uncovering, discovering, and finding the skill sets that will unleash your passion. All right, that brings us to the end here of Wake Up Warrior episode 12, where we've had a conversation 3 times today. First one, why you hate yourself. Second one, why the crippling cancer of maybe needs to be eliminated from your life. The third is how your skill sets ultimately precede and liberate your ability to live a life of passion. Now, if you are a warrior who is looking to take this conversation of skill sets to a whole nother level and ultimately find out what it's going to take to have it all as a warrior in today's marketplace, check out a free 4-part video series I've created just for you at wakeupwarrior.com. For all the rest of you who got value from today's episode, I would encourage you, with the free value I create for you, to share it with other warriors just like you all over the world. Share this episode up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Google+, bing, and have a fantastic week until next week's episode. And remember, warriors, you go forth in today's marketplace, that power in today's marketplace as a modern warrior comes down to the simple formula of authenticity. Be real, get raw, stay raw today.
Oh yeah, you know what to do now. Go check out that free 4-part video series at wakeupwarrior.com now.